Is that working pretty good? So the nemesis of the triangle choke is getting stacked. That's the nemesis, and that's the thing that causes most people to not do the triangle choke or to give up on it, is you get stacked once or twice. Because what happens is people end up getting a guard pass off of it, and it makes you kind of gun shy about doing it. So, and then, yeah, go ahead and stack this way, like that. And then all of a sudden he's got a guard pass there. And so that's the biggest problem, I guess, with triangle choke. So let's work on fixing that a little bit. And so I'm looking for a situation that's going to tell me I got a problem. And that situation is this angle here between my body and my thigh. You can see that's about a 90-degree angle. As soon as he breaks that 90-degree angle there, I'm already in trouble. So I can't let that 90-degree angle get broken. And so I'm going to work on showing you how to keep that from happening. One is going to be with your posture. So I'm going to flatten out my back, and I'm going to bring my shoulders back. Two is I'm going to build a sled like that with my shoulders flat. See how I built the sled? And then now when he tries to yeah, go ahead and try it now. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, it's just, and that's what I mean by a sled, because he just drives you like a sled. And so you shoulder walk like that, and you build this structure, and then you bring your shoulders flat on the mat like that. And when you do that, you should be able to keep him from breaking this line, like that. And your shoulder walk back, and then he's just going to collapse and collapse and collapse, and then you'll end up choking him out. Yeah, so my arms are straight on frames, and that's important. So I get here, straight arm frame, bring my shoulders back and flat, and I'm going to do like that with my shoulders as he goes. Yeah, like that, and he's not going to get it. It's pretty cool, right? He's staying up. I don't think he can. He's going to choke out. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's try. Really straight back and bring your shoulders back to the mat. Two straight arm frames. One hand on your knee, one hand on your ankle. Go, keep them completely straight. That's it, completely straight. And then bring your shoulders back and flat. Yeah, and then make this completely straight and shoving on your knee. And this one's gonna pull like that. Yeah, now you're just gonna shoulder walk that's it. Yes, just shoulder walk. And tie that in. Now put this hand on your knee here and just push it with a straight arm. That's it. Now grab your, before we go, grab this one and kind of pull it. So you're just kind of trying to pull that straight. And now bring your shoulders back and flat and just start walking them back. Yeah, walk, 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 walk. Walk, walk, walk. Wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your shoulders. Don't let your knees get bent. You just need to move them. Back up. And then, yeah, keep walking them. That's it. You feel how it's starting to collapse him? Yeah, now you're getting ahead of him and he's going to tap out. That's it right there. That little bit, because that little bit is kind of what gets you unstuck. Yes.
So is it useful to frame off of him?
The most important one is this one shoving on the knee there. Yeah, and then your shoulder walk. Yeah, yeah. Pull you out this way a little bit. Come this way a little bit. Yeah, yeah. And now go over top. Good. All right, now put this hand on the knee and push, and keep it stiff. That's one of the nice things about short legs is once you get them in position, they're just about done. You almost have to do no work.
Right.
Yeah, and now really shove on your right, a little higher on your knee, and keep it straight. Yeah, and now start shoulder walking back.
I feel like because of that.
Yeah, right. He couldn't even drive. And so the one that's going to be really critical then is this one right there, because that's the one that they collapse. And so as long as I can keep, what I can't let happen is I can't let him break this 90-degree angle line like that, because as soon as this 90-degree angle line is broken, I can't catch up by walking my shoulders back. I'm kind of stuck at that point. And so if I can keep that, even if I'm not shoulder walking back, but I can keep him from breaking that line, then I'm okay. So it's that line, I can't let him break it. I can't let him break that line. Can't let him break it. And so even if I just have to hold here with 2 hands like that, that's okay. Nice. You're not getting the choke, then it is positional. So that somehow your structure's off. There's a couple things that cause the structure to get off in a triangle choke. One, and it's usually about this shoulder. One is I'm behind the shoulder, and so I'm not driving the shoulder into his neck at all. You feel how I'm not putting any pressure on his shoulder? If I come here, now I'm on that shoulder and I'm driving it in. And so my hips lift the shoulder into the neck. See how my hip is behind the shoulder here?
Yeah.
And see how it lifts it up into the neck? Okay. That. Now, if his shoulder goes back a little further, then I'm not behind his shoulder, and I'm behind his forearm, his tricep instead, and I'm not going to get it. Okay. And so what I have to feel, and this is where most triangle chokes get screwed, is my hip right here shoving this into the neck. Because the rest of this is going to work. This is going to always be okay. And then if this is at the right angle, it's going to be okay. And so that's really the thing, is to find that hip coming behind.
I see, yeah. I think that was my fault. You kind of pulled out a little bit.
Sometimes that, when they bring their elbow back, yeah. Because it contracts their shoulder, and their shoulder's not doing that. Yeah, it's almost always the shoulder.
Just for stacking.
Yeah, that's a better stack.
Okay. So is it kind of the same principle? Just push off?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the better stack. That's the one you should do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from the top guy's position for sure.
Is there anything you can do to improve this? Because I'm having I don't feel like I can actually get the full wind up with my legs. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm doing more something like this, which doesn't feel good.
Let's see. Yeah, you're gonna have to move your hip out from underneath him. Back up a little more. Yeah, now it should glow. Yeah. Really straighten out. Yeah, really shove on that knee. That's it. Just keep this stiff. Yeah. And now start driving your heels to your ass. Both heels. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. So the thing you're trying to achieve with the triangle choke, it's really interesting, and it's the hip right here shoving the shoulder into the neck. And that's the part when people's triangle choke is not working. That's almost always the part that's not working. And sometimes it's like my legs are too short, and you see I don't have anything shoving on the shoulder there. Yeah. And you don't feel, there's no pressure on your shoulder there, right? No. No. And so when I get it right, now you can see my hip is behind his shoulder, like there, and then it drives up into his shoulder. And so that's what you kind of want to feel, is that you're driving into this part. Yeah? Okay, break, bring it in. It's the key to making the triangle choke work, and it's this pressure right here. And almost always, 90% of the time probably, if you're not finishing the triangle choke, it's because you're missing this one. And so your hip contacts the shoulder at this point and drives it up into the neck. That's what you should feel. And if you concentrate on that feeling, you're going to get the triangle choke. And so watch. My hip is not behind his shoulder. You see his shoulder right here? And I can squeeze all day long, and there's no pressure on his shoulder. He's never going to tap. You don't feel anything, huh? Now I'm going to make a small adjustment. And now my hip is behind his shoulder, and it's going to lift up in, and it's going to drive this part into his neck. And so my hip gets behind and drives that up into his neck. Can you kind of see that from a distance? And so what I want you to do with your partner is put on the triangle choke and then find your hip coming behind that shoulder right there, and then driving at that angle up into the neck.